Senate Bill SB 1102, electric vehicle omnibus appropriations. Anytime you hear the word appropriation and then you hear omnibus, you know we have a problem, folks. We have a problem. This was introduced by Senator STEELE, and it would be heard in the Senate Government Committee on Monday. And one thing that I have noticed about what's coming up next week is that there is such a plethora, that's a big word for you, such a plethora, I just learned it the other day, a plethora of legislation that is so bad, and it's hard to tell which one is worse. But this one is pretty close to the worst.
Getting close.
Yeah.
We'll cover one later today, though.
Yeah, it's kind of, maybe not. But this thing, okay, here it is. A municipality may not issue a residential structure building permit for a single-family structure if the structure does not have a plug-in for an electric car, so that you can charge your electric vehicle. In other words, you can't even get a permit to build a house unless you're able to charge your vehicle, whether you have a vehicle or not, whether you want to do it or not.
Goes further than that, Jose. I mean, if you've got an existing house and you want to put a cover on your patio, no,
right?
You can't do it.
Yes, any kind of permit, not only new construction, but if you want to get any kind of permit, you have to have that silly plug.
There are exceptions. If you live in a house that does not have on-property parking, that is, you have to park in the street, then you don't have to have an electric vehicle.
Well, I suggest an amendment.
So
that
the thing to do is close off your driveway, so
no,
you have to park out on
the
the
thing to do
street.
is require a long cable so that you can charge the car in the street. That's what you need to do, folks. We need an amendment to have a long cable long enough so that we can charge the car in the street. Folks, this is bad. This needs to be killed, and I really suggest that people call their legislators and say, "Hey, we don't want any part of this." Really.
Yeah. I mean, this is a complicated bill.
Yeah, that too. It's not so simple, but again, the gist of it is just awful.
I told you last week, and I'll tell you again this week on this bill and another one that's coming up. Ms. Steele's got to own lots of shares of stock in an electric vehicle manufacturing company. I mean, she's got to be making bundles of money off of this, and that must be why she's submitting all of this crap, because of what we've already discussed. But then it goes on to appropriate money for different agencies to conduct studies. And at the end of a number of years, they want to know how many green gas emissions have been reduced. The other thing that they maybe are not really telling you about here is that where are you going to get the electricity to run the charging stations? Not good, not good.
Well, all you have to do is burn more coal at the plant.
Well, but that does away with the entire purpose, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, of course it does.
Yeah. So,
Of course it does.
no,
So definitely, it's definitely a definite no, folks.
No, this is purely an extortion bill by Ms. Steele. I mean, you got a house, you want to do something to it. Well, you can't do it unless you comply with what I've told you to do, and that is put an electric vehicle charging station. And if I don't have an electric vehicle, I'm never going to buy an electric vehicle. Why would I want to put an electric charging station and spend my hard money to do that? This is purely extortion. So, no, not a good idea.